Hey guys, this is All Stream That, back with another episode of MLB The Show 19, Road to the Show, with our starting pitcher. And we are in the month of September. We have 1 month to go in the season, and this month is going to be an important month because even though we are 23.5 games behind the Cleveland Indians in the American League Central, it is possible, if the Indians self-destruct, that we could get the pennant, or that we could win the American League Central. But it is even more likely that we will be able to make up the 5.5 games that we are behind in the American League wildcard race. So let's go ahead and get into the games. And we are going to do some induced weak contact practice with Lance McCullers Jr., and get our hits per 9 cap up a little bit. And there's the results. And he wants no hits over our next appearance. And before the next game, we're going to speak with Detroit's closer, Tommy Chiavacci. And he sends us a text ahead of tomorrow's game informing us that he's been on a tear at the plate even though he is a closing pitcher. And we're going to tell him to focus on improving his team before he bothers us. And we should be ready to talk after the game then. And here we are against Detroit. And Grayson Grenier. Or Grenier, I think is how they're pronouncing that. I pronounce it the French way. And we are up by 1 in the top of the 9th. So let's see if we can pick up a save. And there is strike 1. And strike 2 on a foul. And he fouls off a circle. And there is a strikeout. And here is David Hernandez. And there is strike 1. And there's a hit. And our challenge failed. He's not going anywhere. I'm not even going to watch him. If he runs, he's going to be out anyway. We've got Ken French at the plate. Oh! He missed that. So now we've got runners on first and second with 1 out. That was not a very good hit. That was a bad defensive play, though. And there's a foul ball for strike 1 on Victor Reyes. There's strike 2. And strike 3 as he swings at a low circle and misses. And here is Harold Castro, who should be the final batter. That was strike 1. And ball 1, the count is 1-1. And that is out number 3, and we have picked up the save. And we get another shot against Detroit, and Miguel Cabrera is at the plate. We are up by 1 in the top of the 9th. And he fouls off a 4-seam for strike 1. And he watches a curve for strike 2. And that is a line drive out to left field for out number 1. And here is Dave Kell. He's 0 for 3 today. And that's a foul for strike 1. That missed for ball 1. There we go. Count is 1-2. Still 1-2. Still 1-2. And the count is 2-2. And the catcher will be all over that for out number 2. And here is Dawa Lugo. And that goes between the shortstop and the third baseman. And that is a hit. And a very good hit. He placed that right where he needed to. And he fouls off a curveball for strike 1. It's Victor Reyes. And another foul for strike 2. And another foul. And that is a fly ball to right field for out number 3. We have the save. And after 150 games, the Cleveland Indians have clinched the division. So they are the American League Central winners. And as you can see, they are the only ones who have won their division this far. And we are 4.5 games out of the wild card. So let's get into some more games and see if we can move that number down and get into that wild card spot. And here we are against the Cleveland Indians, and we are up by 1 in the bottom of the 9th. If we make it to the 4th hitter, we will be facing Francisco Lindor, who has a 26-game hitting streak. So let's hope it doesn't get that far. Let's get these first 3 guys out so we don't need to worry about that. And the count is 0-2 to Luplow. And it's now 1-2 as we miss on a circle. And we miss on a fastball. Count is 2-2. And that's a foul. And that's strike 3 for Luplow for the first out. And here's Isaac Jackson. And there is strike 1. Strike 2 on a circle. Let's go for a ground out. I would rather it not be either. I would rather it just be a strikeout, and it's going to be a strikeout as he doesn't even swing at a circle down the middle. And here's Gold. The last hope right now. There's 2 outs for Connor Gold. He's got a 1-0 count. And it's 1-1 on that circle. One and 2 as he swings and misses on a fastball. Two and 2 on a curveball outside. And that's going to be a hit. And here comes Francisco Lindor, who is on a hot streak. And there is strike 1 on a foul. I would like to keep him off base. There's strike 2. Still strike 2 on a foul. And another foul. And the second baseman's under that one, and that should be out number 3. We pick up the save. And our manager, what can we do to give ourselves something to feel good about when the season wraps up? Forget where we are in the race, let's win this month, okay? We have a double performance gain for everything. And here we are in T-Mobile Field against the Mariners. We are up by 1 in the bottom of the 13th. And we start with Malik Smith. We're facing the 1, 2, and 3 hitters. And there is strike 1 to Smith. And that was a little high. We were a little off on our timing. Little off on that one too. The count is 2-1. And that will be a hit, and we're gonna have to watch Smith. He's got 92 speed and he's really good at stealing. So let's just try to not allow a run. We're going to let that first pitch go. Okay, we've got Smith on first, so we're a little bit rattled. There we go. Count is 2-1 to Roberts. 2-2. And he strikes out, and Smith will take second. I'm more than okay with that. So we got the strikeout. Smith was going to take second anyway. And there's Haniger. And Smith will not try to take third on that fly out. That was all the way to the track, too. And here's Domingo Santana with 2 outs and a runner on second. And there is strike 1. Santana does not have a hit today. He's 0 for 4. And the count is 0-2. And there's a foul. Still 0-2. And he holds up on that. Count is 1-2. There we go. He'll take it to first himself, and we have the save. And we have another shot against the Seattle Mariners, and here's Curt Sherry. Bottom of the 11th, we have a 1-run lead. Some extra inning games going on here in Seattle. And there is strike 1. I would say that's strike 2. But they called it ball 1, so the count is 1-1. And it looks like they made up for it, because that one looked like it was probably more out than in. And that is a hit for Curt Sherry. And he's another fast one. No runs or walks. We're gonna hold him, I think. There we go. He's safe. And there's strike 1. We're going to be watching Curt Sherry on first. If he takes a step, we're going to throw it. If not, we're going to pitch. There we go. That should be out number 1, and it is. I think that's going to be a good philosophy. And here's Mitch Haniger. And there's strike 1 on a foul. Strike 2 on a foul. Okay, there we go. Just kind of want to keep him on guard a little bit. And that's a strikeout, as that was in the zone. That was a good pitch. And here is Salvador Perez. And we're going to be doing the same thing with Sherry over on first. I think we're handling this pretty well. There's strike 2. So we have an 0-2 count on Perez. And that's strike 3. And we got the save. And the Yankees have clinched a postseason appearance. The Indians, of course, are in. The A's have clinched the American League West. And the Red Sox and Angels right now are in the wild card spots. We're 4 games back. And nobody else has clinched. And we're going to interact with Rhys Hoskins, the first baseman for Cleveland. That will make him a rival. And he says he's been on a tear at the plate. Focus on improving your team before you bother us. And we should be ready to talk after the next game. And we get to face Rhys Hoskins after his trash talk. Let's retire this side in order in 15 pitches or less. And we are we're down by 3 in the top of the 9th. So now we're just getting some work in. So 15 pitches or less and in order. And there is 1 out, and we have 13 pitches left. And here's Isaac Jackson. And there is ball 1 on a curveball. Ball 2 on a circle. Strike 1. That was strike 2 on a foul. And it will not be in order. So that challenge has failed. And he gets a double. One hopper to the wall. And here's Shaw. Strike 1 on a circle. And that's a wild pitch. He's going to go for third. And he's out. And the count is 2-1. The count is 3-1 as we can't pitch. And that's a home run. We're now down by 4. And here's Gold. There's strike 1. He's 0 for 4 today. And now that Cleveland has clinched the division, I would assume they're using a lot of their call-ups. That's the end of that inning anyway, and probably the end of the game. And it is. We have lost. And here we are facing the Minnesota Twins. And we have C.J. Cron. Let's do 5 pitches or less to each batter and retire the side in order. And we have a 1-run lead in the top of the 9th. That's a ball. And there's out number 1. The new number for pitches is going to be 12. And here's Williams Astudillo. And there's strike 1. There's strike two.
Hey, we got one here.
And that's a fly ball. We're going to let him take that, and he better grab it, and he does. So the new pitch count is going to be 10. So Rainey should be the final batter. And of course, we're going to fail that. So I'm assuming this next pitch is going to be a flyout. It's not, but yeah, we're gonna get this guy out. It's gonna be an easy out, more than likely. There is strike two. Count is 1-2. And there it is. We did pick up the save. And we have a boss challenge to begin the next game against Minnesota against Jorge Polanco. Let's go 3 pitches or less to record an out. And that will not be an out. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. And here's Yandy Diaz. No runs is what we need. We do have a 4-run lead. So as long as he doesn't hit a home run, we should be fine. Double play, I think we got it, and we do. There's the save. And we have 9 games to go. The Yankees, looks like they've clinched the American League East. The Indians, of course, have clinched the American League Central. And Oakland has clinched the American League West. The Red Sox and Mariners right now are in the 2 wildcard spots for the American League. We are 2 games back, 1 game behind the Los Angeles Angels, and we are a game and a half behind the Tampa Bay Rays. In the National League, it's pretty much against the Marlins and the Phillies now. For the National League East, I think the Marlins will probably win. Although the Phillies are on a streak for their last 10 at 7-3, and the Marlins have a 5-5 split. The Brewers have clinched a postseason appearance. They haven't clinched the National League Central yet. The Cardinals are still in it. And it looks like the Dodgers and the Giants can both catch the Rockies for the National League West. And the Cardinals and the Phillies right now have the 2 wildcard spots for the National League. And there's, wow, 5 teams. The Cubs, the Giants, the Pirates, the Dodgers, and the Mets are both able to catch the Phillies. So we'll see what happens. And we're going to do a bullpen session on our curveball break. And there's the results. And here we are against the Miami Marlins. And let's retire the side in order. We are up by 1 in the top of the 9th with nobody out. And here's Starlin Castro. He is 1 for 3. He has 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. And he's 0 for 3 on the day. Count is 1-1. There we go. He still only has 1 hit against me. here's Medeiros. And he gets that by the shortstop. It looks like it's going to be a double. And that's all he's going to go for. He's going to stop at second. And here's RttS. And that's strike one. There's a fly ball out to left that's caught for out number 2. And here's JT Riddle. And that is a fly ball out to center field, and that is out number 3. And we pick up a save. And we get another game against Miami and Starlin Castro. No runs and 1 strikeout is what we want to go for. There is strike 1 on a foul. Strike 2 as he watches a fastball go by. And there's a foul. And is he going to make it? He's going to make it to first. No strikeout. There's strike 1 to Medeiros. Strike 2 on a foul. I don't think Castro's gonna run. And there's strike 3. Medeiros strikes out. I think it's a safe bet that Castro won't try to steal. And here is RttS. There's strike 1. Strike 2 on a foul. And another foul. And strike 3 as he watches a curveball. Technically the 3rd strikeout, but the first one didn't count. I do get credit for it in the stats, just not on the score sheet. And that is actually one of the things that I don't know how they would notate that on the score sheet. That is a fly ball. That is going to be a hit. And he just dropped it right over the infield. And here's Bautista. Okay, 2-0. Three and 0 because we can't hit anything right now. I don't know why. Our timing's messed up now. There we go. 3-1. Let's see if we can come back. We can't. We walked the bases full. And here's Juan Carrillo. The chance to be a hero. And there's a 4-seam that misses. And he's going to try to come in and score, and he's Out. So now we are in the 10th. So we have extra innings. And it's our fault. Okay. That's technically a ball, I think, but that's fine. They'll call it a strike. I'm happy. And there's a ball. Count as 1-1. Okay, that there was probably more than likely supposed to be a strike. But everything's balanced again, and there we go. 2-2. So a lot of times if they miss one call, they'll miss another one the other way. And there we go. Out number 1. Let's get 2 more, and we've already blown our save. We might be able to pick up a win if we can get this. It's kind of a messed up way to get a win, but it's a win. There's strike 2. Being a closer, I would rather get the save than the win. There's strike 3. And out number 2, and here's Alfaro. He's 1 for 4 with a single. There's strike 1. There is strike 2 on a foul. And still strike 2. And strike 3. And we end up winning. So I think I picked up a win. And I did. I did not want to do it that way. And with 6 games left for us, the Red Sox have just clinched a wild card spot. The Yankees, of course, have the division for the American League East. The Indians have, of course, clinched the American League Central. And Oakland has clinched the American League West. And it is a 3-way tie between the Mariners, the Angels, and the Royals for the final wild card spot. And the records are the same. The Phillies and the Marlins are still neck and neck. The Phillies are 1 game back in the National League East. The Brewers and the Cardinals have both clinched a postseason appearance. The Giants can still catch the Rockies in the National League West. And in the wild card, the Cardinals, of course, have clinched a postseason appearance. The Phillies, right now, are in the final spot for the wild card. And I would assume it looks as though the Cubs are out of it. And the Giants are close. So I think the Giants can still make it in, but just barely. If the Giants lose a game, they're out. And we are going to interact with the Detroit Tigers shortstop, Ken French, ahead of the next game, and he will be a fierce rival. And he says he's been on a tear at the plate. Focus on improving your team before you bother us. And we should be ready to talk after the next game. He is a fierce rival. And we sat out the whole series against Detroit, and we're now in the final series against Philadelphia. And we start with JT Realmuto. We have an 8-run lead in the bottom of the 9th. Should be a fairly relaxed inning. As long as we don't mess up, we have the win. And we have to really mess up to not get this win. There's a fly ball out to center field, and that is caught for the first out. And here is Michael Franco. And strike one on a foul. Ball one, as that four-seam just misses. And he swings at a low curveball and fouls it off for strike two. And that's going to be probably a double. He's going to go for it, and he's safe, just barely. He's got 25 speed. They got it there almost in time. That was extremely close. And that's a ball to Nick Williams. There's strike one. Strike two on a foul. For some reason, the Phillies have a pitcher up and throwing. There's strike two on a foul. And strike three, as he just watches a fastball. And here's Keon Broxton. He's 0 for 3 today. And we'll pitch that right about eye level. Backs him off for a ball. And there's a fly ball out to left field, and it looks like it's going to be caught, and the game is over. And the regular season is over. The Yankees have officially clinched the American League East, and the Red Sox are in the wild card. The Indians have clinched the American League Central, and we have officially clinched a wild card spot. We are in the playoffs. And Oakland has clinched the American League West. We have the second playoff spot. We finished 81 and 81. So we finished right at 500 and still managed to clinch the American League wildcard spot. The Marlins have clinched the National League East, and the Phillies have a wildcard spot. The Brewers have clinched the National League Central, and the Cardinals have the second wild card spot, or well, the first wild card spot basically. The Giants and the Rockies, it looks like that is going to be a playoff. They're going to have probably a one-game playoff, and the winner of that will win the National League West. And the record for both of them is not good enough for a wild card spot, so it's loser goes home. And the Cardinals and Phillies have the wild card. So we finish our regular season with 42 saves. We have an ERA of 3.38. We pitched 61 and 1/3 innings, 49 strikeouts, and a whip of 108. And we will be playing the Red Sox in the first round of the postseason as the wild card team. And it will be a one-game playoff. And in the Rockies and Giants, the Rockies have beat the Giants, so the Rockies have clinched the division. And the Giants will not be in the playoffs. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to sim through the Boston game. If they allow us to pitch, they allow us to pitch. If not, then they don't. And here we are in Boston. We have a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 9th. And they're putting us in. So, this is a loser goes home. The winner gets to play Cleveland in the first round. And there's a hit. And here's Scooter Gennett. No run, no extra base hits. He's not going anywhere on first. Okay, 0-2. And there's a strikeout. So now a double play ends it. And that was a good strikeout. I think that would have been a strikeout even if he wouldn't have swung. Here's Rafael Devers. And it looks like we get a double play, and we've got it. So we are going through. So we've won the wild card game. We're going to be playing Cleveland in the first round. So we will be getting as far as we can into the playoffs in the next episode, and that's going to end this episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. My name is RttS. Hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications.